This is the homework quiz for week number 16, and this is question number 5. This is the second video for question number 5. The question asks, 80% of the middle school students at Camino Nuevo passed their weekly homework quiz. If the middle school has 170 students, how many passed the quiz? Now, we've talked in the first video about how you can use the 100% ruler to solve this problem, and it's still up here above that we can refer to. But here in the second video, we're going to be looking at setting up a proportion and using cross multiplication. But it can be confusing as to what numbers we put where in setting up a proportion. Here, a proportion table like the one down below can be helpful. Fractions, decimals, and percents are all about parts of a whole. All right? And so that's what we have on the left-hand side, parts and wholes. Here we have percents on the left-hand side and students on the right. Let's fill this information in. For 100%, the whole of 100%, everything, all 100% is 100. The parts that we're given here that we need to find, well, we're given that 80% of the students here passed the quiz. So the part of percent is 80. 80 out of 100. That's the percent. Now, what about the students? Excuse me. Here at the Camino Nuevo, we're told that the school has 170 students. So that is the whole number, the total number of students altogether. And the last section, the number of students who passed the test, if 80% passed the test, that's the part that's missing. So this is all of the totals, the wholes. This is the parts. This is the percents. And this is the students. This proportion table can be a useful tool to be able to see more clearly what it is that we are setting up in our proportion so that we can get the numbers in the right place and solve it correctly. We can use this then to set up a proportion just like this, so we can cross multiply. 80 times 170 divided by 100 is going to give us the number of students who passed the test, the actual number of students if 80% passed. So let's go ahead and solve that. Well, we can see over here that if we're multiplying by 80 and dividing by 100, we're going to have some bigger numbers. So let's see if we can simplify this fraction. As has been shown here, we can take and cross out the zeros at the end of 80 and 100. What are we doing if we're crossing out the zeros? We're dividing by 10. 80 divided by 10 is going to be 8. 100 divided by 10 is going to be 10. So that's what we're doing there. Now we can further simplify this. We could further simplify this by dividing by 2. 8 divided by 2 is going to be 4. And 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5. So we could change this into 4/5 and further simplify things. But you know what? Let's not do that. Because as we've seen earlier on in the videos just for this week, if we're dividing by 10, that's a pretty easy step. It's actually going to be easier than if we're dividing by 5. So let's take and stay with 8/10 equals x over 170 and solve that. Well, 8 times 70 is going to be 1,360. So that was what we did over here. This is the first step, cross multiplying. Now we divide this 1,360 divided by 10, and we will have the answer as to how many students there are who passed the test at Camino Nuevo Middle School. We can see that we can simplify our task over here by crossing out those zeros. Again, dividing each side by 0, simplifying this division problem before we solve it. Because 136 divided by 1 is the same thing as 1,360 divided by 10. And the answer is simple to solve. It's 136. 136 is the number of students, and it's the same as 136 on the 100% ruler up above, which is 80%. So here you've been given 2 different ways that you can solve question number 5, both with the percent ruler the 100% ruler, and by using cross multiplication and a proportion table to solve it, which is something that you're going to be using further in 7th and 8th grade. So it's a good thing to start using it now. When you feel comfortable with this question, go ahead and try the practice problem for the homework quiz for week number 16, question number 5.